Hello YouTube! So I've been putting off making my response to the 2013 ladies survey because I wanted my answers to be perfect, but nothing's perfect, so let's rock. Alright, 1. Do you agree that the internet is a harder space for women? Why, and is it helpful or harmful to acknowledge that? I think it definitely is. I think that the internet is definitely a harder space for women, but I think it's even more difficult to exactly pinpoint where to begin with that. I mean, that's the overall problem when one group of people doesn't understand another group of people. If something isn't your personal experience, it can be difficult to understand or to even empathize. It's sort of been my experience that when you converse with people who haven't had to deal with the glass ceiling that a lot of female content creators or creators of any sort face, they think that it's something that's in our minds, or maybe even a roadblock that we've created for ourselves as an excuse to not be able to succeed. What? I think I talked about this in my lady survey video last year, but we live in a world where men can be the best filmmakers, they can be the best athletes, they can be the best authors. Women often have to settle for second place being the best female film creators, or the best female athletes, or the best chick lit authors. Why do we need to categorize away the success of half the human race? Oh, they write books for other girls. Oh yeah, okay, we'll let them have that. That's a huge problem. What's the most helpful book or article you've read, film you've watched, or video you've seen about womanhood this year? I will just admit, I really wasn't exposed to very much complex information about women's rights growing up, and I think this is pretty common, but I found myself really starting to sink my teeth into it once I got into college. And even after college, in the years that followed that up until this moment, I kind of feel like I've just been this sponge soaking in all of the different perspectives and ideas and information that I never knew anything about before. At every single convention that I have attended for the past year, I have made sure to sit in on at least one panel about women's issues in that particular industry. And it's really hard to say which ones had the biggest impact on me. I think for me, for this past year specifically, the most helpful thing is being able to take in all these different sources and start to piece together what my thoughts are. It's kind of a lame answer, but it's the one I'm going with. Oh my god, why do I always film on Mondays? Mondays are garbage truck day, and there is a garbage truck that just camps in my alley for like 2 hours being loud. Why? This is the day I make videos. 3. Do you think a focus of supportive female networks online, whether formally through things like Wonderly or informally, is beneficial or hurts the cause? I am a member of Wonderly, so I kind of feel like I should speak on this specifically. I joined this structured female content network as a way to sort of answer that question for myself. I was not finding the answers being a content creator all on my own, and so I thought, hey, Wonderly seems like a really positive place to be. Maybe being part of this network of female creators will help shed some light on what we could all be doing to make this world a better place. It's a place that fosters creativity and inspiration and support amongst female creators, and I think that's great because historically speaking, sometimes large groups of girls can actually breed more of a cattiness, and I'm glad that we're trying to do things like this to overcome that. I can see, though, from the outside how it might look like some sort of exclusive club of girls, and I can only do as much as my own voice can do, but I really want to let the world know that that's not even remotely what Wonderly is trying to do. Wonderly is supposed to be a safe place for females to both make content and consume content. It's unfortunate that we have to work so hard every day to break down the stereotypes that have been put in place for girls, that we're catty, that we're exclusive, that we're mean, that we talk about each other behind each other's backs, because that's just not inherently in our nature, I feel, and it's something that movies and high school stereotypes have shoved down our throats, and I really hope that people don't see Wonderly that way, because it's not what it's trying to do. And maybe stuff like this isn't the answer, but I think it's at least a step in the right direction, and I've really enjoyed being a part of it, and I've found it to be nothing but positive. 4th question, what have you personally done to support female creators in the past year? Are things better now than they were a year ago, and what do you pledge to do in the coming year? I think that the very act of getting to know other female content creators outside of my immediate circle of friends, as well as finding other female YouTubers to add to my subscription list and other female bloggers to add to my blog roll, has been a big personal step for me. I've also made it a point to pay attention to books being written by women and films being directed by women and articles being written by women, and to make more of an effort to search those things out. I don't know if I'd say that the problem is any better in the grand scheme overall than it was a year ago, but I know for me personally, I've grown so much in the past year, and I make so much more of an effort to leave comments on other girls' videos and to promote the things that they're doing, and I really hope that there's other people out there doing that too. If we try to keep the conversation relevant, then I guess all progress is some progress, even if it doesn't feel like it. I know it's hard. Every issue that manages to break through the noise and get into the public eye, Dove commercials, Miley Cyrus, it's so tiresome and disheartening when you hear the general public say, oh, it always comes back to women's issues. It always comes back to feminism. Well, of course it does. Women's issues are at the heart of so many of the complications that we face every single day in media, in our daily lives, in the workplace, on the internet, and the more they're dismissed, the more loudly we have to speak. And lastly, your favorite 5 internet females. I'm gonna say Felicia Day because I am always so impressed that she makes whatever the heck she wants to make, whenever and wherever she wants to make it. Jana Spenson, who always encourages people to work on their passions and is one of the best things to happen to TV writing in a long time. Lacey Green, who works tirelessly and is one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. Emily Grassley, who's managed to make something as disgusting as animal parts so cool and to make being smart looks so awesome. And I have to finish with Roseanna because even though she's one of my dearest friends, she's one of the biggest influences in my life, and she encourages me to think and talk about this stuff all the time, even when it feels pointless. I will tag a few people down below to do this video on their own channels. Also, I'd really appreciate your thoughts down in the comments on this one, so feel free to let me know what you thought about anything I said or your personal ideas on any of these questions if you don't make videos yourself. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.